Welcome to A Mug's Life. In this podcast, guests bring up to 5 mugs and we chat through each one, the stories they hold, and what makes each mug so special. Grab a cup of tea or any drink of your choice and come and join us.
I thought it would be apt to introduce this month's guest from the outdoors, as this is where she spent a lot of her career, in the mountains. I'm delighted to welcome the inspirational 4-time Winter Olympian and presenter, Chemmy Alcott. It was so much fun chatting through Chemmy's mugs, including one with her real name on. We chat about it all, from a 31-year-old mug sparking an Olympic dream, to why tea and the Royal Box at Wimbledon taste so good, as well as why there's such power in trying, whilst embracing the possibility of failing and flying in the face of it. I really hope you enjoy this episode.
Welcome to A Mug's Life, Chemmy.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to chat about your mugs today.
I know, I'm excited about it. I had to really search for them because I knew in my head which ones I wanted, and then as you get older and you try and become more stylish in the kitchen, no, I'm going to have a theme, and then I'm like, yeah, but this, I need to go against the theme. I need to have stories, and then back of the cupboard, they're there.
Yeah, everybody always talks about how it's quite difficult to think because there are so many options. And like you say, some have really deep stories, some are pretty.
Yeah,
so.
and these aren't, so we have a certain mug. There's 3 adults who live in this household, my husband and my nanny and myself, and we all like to drink coffee and tea out of the same mug, which isn't one of the mugs that I bought today because it's just a beautiful mug that I got from a freebie paddle event at the Hurlingham the other day, and it's blue and white. But for some reason, the tea and the coffee taste so good out of it. And we are a very early riser household. So whoever gets down first gets to have the Hurlingham mug. Yeah.
So it's become sort of a competition?
It is. It's like a competition.
Yeah.
I got it this morning. Technically, I'm winning right now.
So you've only had this mug a couple of weeks?
I've had it for about a month, but very quickly it became the household favourite.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's no reason for it. It's not particularly lovely bone china or anything. It's just the coffee and tea tastes really good out of it. It's like, I'll tell you a lovely story. I'm very, very fortunate in life that a few times I've been invited to the Royal Box in Wimbledon, and it is the best sporting event ever. I love tennis and I love dressing up, and you get afternoon tea. It is the most delicious afternoon tea you've ever had. And that particular day, because I drink a lot of coffee, but I always have tea, and the tea just tastes phenomenal. And every year I say, look, what have you done to this? How have you brewed it? What have you done? They're like, there's nothing special about this. But it's the whole atmosphere surrounding that cup of tea, being on the balcony at Wimbledon, hearing the tennis balls and the crowd cheering, that makes you realise that this is why people drink tea, for this very moment right here. And it's all the sensory gain you get.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is the science behind that?
I think it's because you're not just relying on your taste buds. I think so often in life we eat and drink for necessity. We drink when we're thirsty, we drink when we're tired, we drink because we want to get tipsy. But actually this is right. I'm enjoying everything about this. I've got, my eyes are enjoying the senses here, the smell senses, I feel great, and I've got the taste to go with it. So it's that kind of sensory level.
What's your best experience been in the Royal Box? The most memorable moment? Sorry, we're really going off.
Yeah, we are going off piece, but that's normal. Last year, got invited back to the Royal Box. Haven't been there for 10 years, and I got invited back for my efforts for broadcasting sustainability, and it's something that I'm very passionate about, that you often get very judged for when you're in the public and you talk about trying to be sustainable, especially in the world that I'm in, snow sports. It's not a very sustainable world, but I try and do my bit. And I did a feature on Ski Sunday about it and about the Vallée Blanche, and it got picked up. And so I got invited because of that. And it was a very amazing honour. And so I went last year with Dougie, and it was Andy Murray's last match. And we didn't know that there was this huge kind of event planned as soon as he got knocked out. But they had whispered to us, should this match not go Andy's way, you will want to stay in your seats. And we're like, okay, what's happening? And that's when they brought Sue Barker back and all the legends. So we were having tea and all the legends were walking past. Federer, Djokovic, everyone who'd just been on court. And that was just, I mean, it doesn't get better. I was crying, I was laughing, I was just so in the moment. And we love Andy Murray, so.
Oh, yeah.
It was just great.
Big tennis fan over
Yeah.
here. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I completely went off. You've got a lovely intro that you want to do.
No, but it's those kind of organic stories that are actually much more important than structure. So to do a little bit of intro, the breadth and depth of your career is quite incredible. You started skiing at 18 months old, started racing at 3, and are a 4 times Olympian as a professional skier. In your junior career, you beat Lindsay Vonn in the Junior World Championships.
Yeah, I'll take that. That's probably the last time I beat her, but yeah.
One to shout about. And you were named Sunday Times Junior Sportswoman of the Year in 1995. And in your senior career, you were 7 times British national champion, had 5 top 10 World Cup finishes, became the first British skier to win a World Cup run in Solden 2008. This, when I was writing on my laptop, kept auto-correcting to golden.
I'll take it.
Better.
Yeah, way better. Way
Golden
better.
2008.
Yeah.
And you were ranked a career high of 8th in the world. Outside of professional skiing, you've also taken on many other challenges and adventures, becoming a mum, finishing 5th on Dancing on Ice and striking up a friendship with Torvald and Dean, completing the world's toughest ski race, 160 kilometres in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah, that was not very fun. Sounds better than it was.
It sounds awful. From there.
Okay, it was awful.
Raising money for Ski for Cancer, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, raising money for Right to Play, moving into broadcasting and becoming lead ski Sunday presenter as you continue today, and also as part of the 2018 Pyeongchang and 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics commentary team. Starting your own ski coaching company, CDC Performance, with your husband Dougie, and you hold 3 very different Guinness World Records.
None to do with skiing, yeah.
Do you want to talk a little about your Guinness World Records?
Well, I've been obsessed with the Guinness World Records since I can remember. It was the book that we got for Christmas every year. I've got lots of older brothers, and it was the one thing that brought us all together on Christmas Day because we all wanted to read all the records from that year. And I was like, one day I'm going to be in this. And then I went into ski racing and I achieved a lot of great things in my career, but I never made the book. And I was like, right, I've got to make it. And I went to the launch of the Guinness World Record book in 2012. And I had a broken leg at the time. And it was in London, it was in December, and it was for that January. They had a few stations set up that celebrities could have a go at, for publicity and blah, blah. And the first time I did this beer mat flipping, I was on crutches at the time. So I put my crutches to the side, all hair and makeup done. And I had a go at this beer mat flipping, singular hand. And I matched the world record. I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is my moment. It then took me 2 hours of sweat and everything and standing on one leg because my other leg was broken, and finally I got my first Guinness World Record of beer mat flipping, how many beer mats you can flip in 30 seconds. And it was 30, and I think someone has beaten it now. And then my second one was before I did the world's toughest ski race. I teamed up with 4 adventurous male racers in that race, and we called ourselves the Arctic 5 to raise money. And one of the promos that we did was we wanted to get the fastest world record for 5 people tied together roller skiing a mile. And we did this in Hyde Park. The issue was there wasn't a mile of tarmac, so we had to turn around in the middle, and actually the guy in the middle fell over. So we did get the world record, but we definitely weren't very fast, but it was just so weird and wonderful. And my last one was back when Laura Kenny was Laura Trott. We got invited to host the largest bike bill ensemble for Beethoven's Fifth Symphony for vintage bikes before Ride London. So we were on stage. I'm not very musical, and we had people behind us tapping, and I had a red and a blue bell and she had a green and a yellow, and we did with 500 people and 500 bells Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Oh my God, so random.
That is the most. That's with Laura Kenny.
Yeah, legend. Yeah,
on the stage.
Yeah, on stage. Yeah.
And 500,000. Were they watching?
500 people,
Oh, sorry,
500 bells. So we had 500 vintage bikes there.
Yeah.
And they all had their 2 colours.
Yeah.
And so when I lifted up the red one to do, everyone very quickly had to do their red bell. So everyone got colour-coded bells. It did take quite a lot of takes because that is, the Fifth Symphony is a long track song. As you can see, I'm very, very musical. So it's quite ironic that one of mine is musical-based.
That one's probably my favourite.
Oh, yeah.
In how... did they come to you with that idea? Were they like, this is what we want you to do?
Yes, they were like, we want to break the Guinness World Record. Will you come and orchestrate these vintage bikes. And I was like, yeah, of course, that sounds right up my street.
You've got plans to break any more?
Yes, any weird and wonderful. When people always say to me, how do you do it? I'm like, well, you've got to do something absolutely crazy specific that no one's ever done before. So you can't do any running races. Everyone's done that for years, but you can do like they do in London Marathon, running the marathon in ski boots, which is just horrendous. People do that, yeah.
I saw somebody doing that.
Yeah.
Horrific.
Yeah, horrific, yeah.
This is reminding me of my efforts. I once thought I could try and break a world record with my friend.
Right.
Roller skating up and down the kitchen to High School Musical.
Amazing. Yeah, and did you get it?
I don't think we ever submitted it. It was the idea to listen to Breaking Free 100 times.
Wow, how did your parents feel?
Well, we did have to go to sleep. And I remember I said, it's fine because we'll just listen to it as we sleep. And I'm sure it will count. I mean, we were probably 12.
Oh, well, good commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as cool as your world record, so...
Well, there we go, random.
To finish, when I was doing the prep for this episode, what struck me, and actually as I've been following you on Instagram and obviously watching Ski Sunday, and even when you've been in those Olympics commentary teams, is your positive attitude. And more broadly than that, your determination, even during some of the most difficult times in your career. Through injuries and funding challenges, you always found a way through with your enjoyment and love for the sport, describing it as the best job in the world.
Yeah, no, I'm so lucky. I can't believe that I didn't achieve my first dream in life of winning the Olympics, but I gave it a good go, 4 Olympics, and yet I am living this life today where I'm presenting Ski Sunday, I have brands, sponsors, I'm getting to coach young people. I mean, I can't believe that I've managed to get here when in my head I didn't achieve what I wanted to in the sport, but I've still reinvented myself through overcoming that adversity to show that it's not all about winning. And I think so much of sport we're drummed into that you've got to win to make a difference, but actually losing is a more powerful personal growth exercise than winning.
Yeah, I think that's very true.
Yeah, and getting up and going again.
You talk a lot about effort and trying. The majority of us won't win Olympic gold medals.
Exactly. I remember I got into public speaking quite quickly when I retired, and it's not something that I chose to do. It's just something that innately, as a retired athlete, you get invited to schools and corporates. And I used to be so nervous because I'd be there speaking behind Jessica Ennis and all these like absolute legends who have achieved so much in sport. And I was like, well, what have I got to talk about? Because all that happened to me was that I failed. I didn't achieve my dreams. But actually, I realised that made me far more relatable in the room because I pushed myself at 100%. I hurt myself. I came back from all this adversity to keep that Olympic dream alive. And I think that's what people get, that, right, I'm down in the doldrums, but I'm going to get back up and I'm going to try again, because that's much more normal to life than here's a gold medal, you're the best in the whole world at what you do. There's very few people who understand that feeling.
Yeah, I think it's incredible, and I think everything that you've done, how you came back from injury, is just phenomenal, and I think that's actually a lot harder in a way than when you're, who's to say I'm not a gold medalist, but when you're at the top.
I think when you're at the top, you've obviously got a target on your back and everyone's gunning for you. But when you're trying to get up there and you're facing all of these barriers, whether it's injury, physical barriers, mental barriers, lifestyle barriers or background barriers, especially financial in sport like ski racing, you can really struggle with that. But it can also give you the chip on your shoulder to be like, right, I can do this. I'm going to overcome this and I'm going to make the pathway that you can come back from this. And even if I don't win, I've achieved so much.
So you brought your mugs on today.
Yeah, I brought my mugs.
How many mugs do you have?
I've got 4 mugs. Yeah.
Where would you like to begin?
I'll begin at the beginning. So, because this was given to me at my christening. And this is actually my real name. So it's a very old school mug. We don't actually drink out of it. I feel like it's so old and chipped. But it's got a little girl on, kind of the old school font prints that they used to use. And it says Chimene. And Chimene is actually my real name. So this was my christening mug from my cousins who actually couldn't make... They've always been... My mum was always angry at them because they got married on the day I was born. But it's great because I always remembered their wedding day because it's my birthday. Yes, Chimene. So I'm named Chimene and I'm named after... Bring this into shot. So my mum used to model. She was an athlete and a very academic person, and she used to look like Sophia Loren. This is Sophia Loren. And my mum used to model, and she did Elnet campaigns and lots of campaigns. Actually, just on the other side of the wall is her modelling fax paper. Very, very random, but that's the era. So when she found out she was pregnant, and she really wanted a girl, like I've got 3 older brothers, so very passionately, she was a feminist, did a degree in women's liberation, really wanted a girl. So when she gave birth to a girl, she's like, right, I'm going to call my daughter Chimene, after a character that Sophia Loren played in El Cid. So this is Sophia Loren in El Cid, the movie, playing Chimene. So that's who I'm named after. Unfortunately, I look just like my dad. My mum was like strong, dark, like really lovely features, cheekbones, but I turned out just like my dad. But that's why I have this quite unique name. Now, I didn't like the name Chimene because people always used to say it wrong, because it's spelled Chimene. And when I got my first World Cup top 10, I was in Italy, in Cortina, which is the site of the next Olympics for the women.
Yes.
And the Italian commentator used to get prize given for top 10. And this was a big moment for me. I'd never got top 10 before. He was looking at his clipboard and he's like, in the 10th place from Great Britain. And he's so surprised that someone from Great Britain is Chemmy Alcott. And I was like, oh my gosh, because he couldn't say this name, so he called me Chimney. So then all the girls on tour called me Chimney for a few years, and I was just like, this is just terrible. So then I changed my name on all my race licenses to Chemmy. So I've become Chemmy, and actually I really love having a unique name, because a name is very, very important. I think it does define you, and I love that I've got such a memorable, I basically made up Chemmy because I couldn't say Chimene and I didn't like it. But I have other people then emailing me, and I've got lots of goats called Chemmy. So this is quite a good story. I did an interview when I was hurt in Sweden once. I'd fallen off a jump, and Channel 4 were there. And my parents were at home, and the only way they could watch the race would be on the interview the next day. So I tried to be all tough in this interview, and thought I'd nailed it. And then I got an email the next morning saying, saw an interview with you and loved it. Think you're just like our cheese, so we've got this new goat's cheese and we're going to call it Chemmy. And I was like, that is the most random thing ever. So I wrote saying, really honoured, but why? But why? I was like, oh, well, in this interview, you could tell that you were really upset, but you were like tough on the outside, but really soft and gooey on the inside, which is exactly like our goat's cheese. It's also 97% fat. And I was like, oh gosh. I'm not sure that's a compliment. Anyway, so I've got a goat's cheese named after me. I also have a lovely little girl, she's not so little, in Jersey called Chemmy, who was born very prematurely and wasn't very well at the beginning. So she was in an incubator for a long time, and they wanted to give her a name for fighting. And it's just after I'd come back from one of my big injuries, and they called her Chemmy. I've now met her. I go to Jersey quite a lot, and I've met her every single year that I go. And she's this lovely little girl called Chemmy. So there's 2 real Chemmys in the world. Well, not 2. There's the real Chemmy in Jersey, and then there is a whole clan of goats in Somerset, because every goat is called Chemmy who makes that goat's cheese.
Oh, wow.
But it wins awards.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's great. They sent me one pack once. Okay. It's very good. Very high in fat, but very good.
Yeah. I wonder how they name all the goats. Chemmy 1, Chemmy 2.
Yeah, I don't think you call goats Chemmy and they come over. So I think they're just the Chemmy goats that make this cheese.
I wonder if they decided, were they being truthful in that it was your interview, or were they like, this is your career and then this is the time to reach out? So specific that they were watching.
Yeah, I know.
Day.
I don't know. I remember I was really trying to not cry in the interview. So actually, if that was actually the premise, that I was tough and then inside I was not tough, they saw right through me, which I'm sure was very obvious. I'm quite an open book. So it's a good story.
It's a great story. And it's award winning. So basically you can say your name is award winning.
Yeah, you can Google it. It's totally true.
That's a new fun fact. And the story of the girl in Jersey is just so lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, and she prevailed, she came through, she's an incredible young girl, and it's quite emotional when I meet her, because I know that the reason they called her Chemmy was because they saw me as someone strong who'd overcome adversity, and yet this young girl, she really did have a hard start to life and is just thriving.
Oh,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a lovely mug.
Yeah, lovely mug.
With your name on it.
It's got my name on it, yeah.
Is that one that's sort of towards the back of the cupboard?
That is, yeah.
It?
No, just because, it's a weird size. It's like not even a cortado size. I guess it is a cortado size. Maybe it's because it's precious. I'm not sure it would be very good in the dishwasher that many times either. So, yeah, that one goes there.
Did your brother have mugs? for their christenings too?
No, the only thing I think we all had was Santa sacks. And I have a Santa sack that says Chimene on it. And every year it comes out at Christmas and my sons are like, who's that? No, that's me. That's my real name. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Oh, how lovely.
Yeah.
Shall we go on to your...
Yes. Okay, so number two. So this is a mug that I got in Lillehammer in 1994. And this was kind of the start of me being very determined at 13 or 11 years old that I wanted to go to the Olympics. And I had this incredible honour to go up to Lillehammer and watch some of the Olympic events. And it was a massive turning point for me because I saw firsthand the speed that these women were going at, the grace and the humility they showed in the finish area, the charge, the risk. I mean, I got so many emotions from Lillehammer and watching it live that it was really the kind of light in my belly that got caught and which took me obviously to 4 Olympics far later. But I remember I was allowed to buy one thing. My parents said I could buy one thing. And I bought this mug from the Olympics to kind of remind me what my goal was and what I wanted. I mean, I'm not sure why there's this really cute little guy on the back, definitely cross-country skiing. But, you know, this side, this was it. I mean, that was the start of me wanting to go to the Olympics.
And this mug looks in very good condition.
Yeah, it's also not used at all. Again, it's the size of a mug. I like a big chunky mug or a tiny mug. And this is just... I think mugs have just got bigger over the years. I think we used to have a lot more mugs this size. But I mean, it makes my hand look giant, doesn't it? I mean, you just don't... It's too dainty. It's too dainty for me.
Do you think it's because we're drinking more tea or coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because we're more tired, because we're doing more things, because we never chill out. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you look at this mug then when you got it? Because obviously if you could only choose one thing, you must have been really drawn to this mug.
Yeah. And, you know, I was 11, so I wasn't drinking tea or coffee. But, yeah, this is what I chose. And there was probably loads of plastic stuff there that I could have chosen. So I'm quite proud that I chose that. I chose this all for this moment today.
This moment for the podcast.
Yeah.
That's what I find so amazing, though. Speaking to people, when you first come out with this concept, oh, will it work? And you speak to people and you're like, wow.
Yeah. This is like, you know, 31 years old.
It's incredible. It looks like it was bought yesterday.
Exactly. It's shiny. I polished it. I totally polished it.
It looks amazing. And did you then attend the Olympics after that? Did you go to
No, I couldn't go to, actually, because I had my GCSEs. The next Olympics after this I went to, again, I remember I went up to a university and I entered a competition in the newspaper to become an ambassador for sport, a youth ambassador for sport at the Sydney Olympics in 2000. So we went up and we did this rally operation weekend. I don't know if you know them. So it was a 3-day weekend and we had to write an essay in to the newspaper, and then they chose 12 girls and 12 boys, and we went up and we slept at this university for 3 days, which was quite a big deal at the time. And we were put through all these skill tests, psychological tests, mental, physical tests. And I remember we weren't allowed to sleep. So they kept letting us go to sleep because we were exhausted after the day. And then they would wake us up and say, one of your comrades is in the field 2 miles away. You need to bring them back because you're going to be shot at. Like, it was all quite intense. And then the last night, I remember, it was brutal. We were so tired. We hadn't slept for 2 days. And they woke us up and nearly 50% of the other girls went to sleep. They were like, I can't do it. And I remember me and a few of the others got up and we went out in the cold and it was raining and we finished the task. And we just thought we were doing this for a competition, but at the end of it, we then got a letter, and 6 girls and 6 boys from this had won the opportunity to go to the Sydney Olympics to represent youth sport in Britain with all of the British Olympic outfits. We got to go up to Brisbane to the holding camp, and then we got to go to certain events with youth ambassadors from all around the world. So we were all staying together. It was the most incredible trip of a lifetime. I remember I was in the arena the night that Cathy Freeman won the 400 metres. It's that iconic Olympic moment where she was wearing the cat suit over her head. And it was just incredible for global sport. And going, this is sport has the power to change everything. And that was my kind of Olympic moment, which is a weird thing to say because I went to 4 Olympics and competed at them. But my Olympic moment in terms of what changed me was watching Cathy Freeman win the 400 at Sydney. And I got to go because of this rally operation weekend competition. Yeah.
I bet you were like, gosh, it was worth staying up for.
Oh my gosh. It was the most incredible time. And you're there with people from all around the world. It was mind-blowing. mind-blowing.
Do you remember what it was about Kathy Freeman, watching her?
I think it was because the background she came from, she was never supposed to win, and she overcame all of this adversity and had all of this pressure heaped upon her, and that she was the story of the Olympics and she had to deliver. And watching her to deliver in such a spectacular way, like I can visualize it now, and just all the flashes going off from cameras, because this is before camera phones, so everyone had proper cameras flashing, and I just remember it was like magic. It was like performing under magic, and amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that sort of inspired you to move forward?
Yeah, that was just, I want to be part of this. Like, how can I be part of this Olympic world? Well, I'm good at skiing. I want to do skiing, and yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
And when you then went yourself to the Winter Olympics, what is it like? I've always been fascinated by what it's like in the villages. Is it the same for the Winter Olympics as the Summer Olympics?
Yeah, it's slightly, I think because we're more locational, obviously the last Summer Olympics actually was dotted around, but there used to be one kind of place where all the athletes stayed, whereas we're in the mountains. So the first Olympics I went to in Salt Lake City, I stayed in Ogden with a family. I actually did a homestay for my first Olympics, which was just amazing. But I was so away from the whole Olympic movement that I didn't really get involved with it that much. So I never did an opening or closing ceremony for the Olympics, because I did so many disciplines when I was racing, until I went to Sochi, my fourth Olympics. And I was like, I am going to the opening ceremony. Like, I need to feel this Olympic spirit one time in my career. But yeah, the Olympic Village is crazy. I mean, there's a few very, very bizarre things about it. The fact that there's a McDonald's everywhere, and we're athletes who spent 4 years working really, really hard to perform in this 2-week window, and yet everyone's eating hamburgers and chips with no nutritional value at all. But it's definitely like, you finish your event and that's your treat. You get to go to McDonald's. And then in the Winter Olympics, having the Jamaican bobsleigh team just swaggering around like they own the place still, because of, the movie, that they're still living off that, and as they rightly should, it's because it's one of the best films ever. But Cool Runnings is obviously what I'm talking about.
What an iconic film.
Yeah, iconic film. I mean, Eddie the Eagle film is very similar. It's, it's overcoming all of that adversity and doing well at something that you shouldn't, which I think is just so inspiring. But yeah, it's quite a weird one, the Olympic Village. I've heard it's much more fun now if you're single and you're on Tinder, because you're just matching up with all these incredible, beautiful, physiqued people left, right and centre. But in my days, we were just hanging out.
And also, because often when I watch the winter sports, so this is more the World Cups and actually the bobsleigh, the warmer areas seem to be quite limited. This is quite niche.
Yeah.
But often for bobsleigh, I see people warming up in car parks.
Yeah.
Winter Olympics, you're warming up just at the back of, not the back of the hill.
Yeah,
but,
just
behind
in the start
gate.
Yeah. I think that's really important, because I think that, it brings people in. They can see it all. It's like, okay, you can't just get in the start and expect your body and your brain to perform. I mean, I was always juggling before the start, because I was trying to really internalize my focus on something really narrow, because I used to get distracted a lot, as you can probably tell, what's happening. And so that was my thing. And I think actually the more we see into that, the more we understand how an athlete gets to the point where you can go 70, 80 miles an hour on skis, or how do you get ready for something that intense.
What was your favourite prep ritual?
So I used to stand and start gate, and my mantra was loose as a goose, because the issue is when you get heightened with excitement, I used to try harder than 100%. So I used to over try, and then I'd be blocked, and then I wouldn't be my best. Whereas in training, when I was much more relaxed, I was very, very fast. So I was just always trying to be like loose as a goose. Just go for it.
And then hurtle down.
And then, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a goose on skis, but that's what I was going for.
That's great. And do you have a favourite Olympics memory?
Oh, Turin, the downhill in Turin. It was the last time my family would all be together, because after that my mum tragically died. But we were all there. The weather was terrible, and I had this incredible performance where, for a lot of the Olympic downhill, I was in third position. And I had the run of my life, and I got to celebrate that with everyone. So that was definitely my favourite Olympic run.
Honestly, it's so lovely to hear all of your stories, and also from the unique perspective, obviously, of somebody who's been at multiple Olympics and experienced it in different ways.
Oh, thank you.
How important are those sort of supports or camaraderie when you're on tour?
Huge. So sporting wise, I used to play a lot of tennis as well, and I would never have made it in tennis, because it's a battle against whoever's the other side of the net. You aren't allowed to be friends with that person because you want to beat them. You know, the change of ends, there's not a lot of nice friendship chat going on. It's quite mean, and I hated it because I'm a people pleaser. Whereas in skiing, I think because it's so dangerous and you have to push your limit so much, and there's always that kind of risk of injury, there's a lot more respect. So when I had my best run and someone came down and beat me by a few seconds, you would respect them for going more on their limit that day because of the danger aspect. And so all of my best friends are girls I used to race against. And I think you make these incredible friendships because you're going out there and you're doing something not normal, let's be honest. You've got to have a few screws loose to go 80 miles an hour. And so the only people who really understand that, I'm from London, my friends here didn't understand what I was doing, are the people I raced against. So you make these incredible, profound friendships that are still there.
That's so lovely. How did you find opportunities to go skiing?
I mean, I was very, very lucky when I was younger that my parents had the money to send me skiing. And I had a place in Flaine. I still have a place in Flaine in France. And I used to go out there for blocks of a time. The school were really supportive. This was before the internet. So they used to fax my homework out. And I did a lot of my life in my academics by fax and faxing it back once I'd done it. I tried not to take too much time off school because it was very important to me to do well academically because my mum was an academic and she basically cornered me and said, if you get 4 A's in your A-level, you can become a ski bum for the rest of your life. And I was like, right, this is what I'm going to do. I actually got 3 A's and a B, and then had the B remarked, and then became a skier the rest of my life.
Oh.
But I did a massive volume of learning to ski in New Zealand. So I'd go down to New Zealand for our summers from the age of 10 years old on my own all summer. So 2.5 months I spent down there just skiing every day in the mountains, staying again with another family down there. And that was imperative for me to make it in the sport.
Mm. Do you think it's possible in the UK to get to the Olympics if you don't have that?
In skiing,
Yeah.
I think in skiing you've got to get a big volume under your skis of skiing all terrain when you're young, but I don't think you have to sacrifice the other areas of your life, like going to school and being a pupil. There are a huge amount of academies where these kids from 10 years old are giving up their life in the UK to go out there full time. But I think it's too much too soon. And what we find with our club called Carpe Diem Coaching, CDC, is that when we run camps every school holidays, those athletes really want to be there. And they work really hard when they're there because they're so grateful for that moment. When it's something that you do every single day of the winter, if the weather's bad, you might get up and be so uninspired that you don't put your all into that day. Whereas when you know you've only got this short window to improve, you focus a lot more on it. And I think that's why we harness such a great positivity in our camps, because everyone is there. Everyone wants to be there. It's not just something they've signed up for.
Mm. And what advice do you give to the children that you're coaching in CDC Performance?
I always bring it back to why they're doing it. Are they passionate about it? The sport's not easy, but it's incredible when you have the highs of, and that high doesn't have to be winning. It might be dropping a little cliff or having a really good run in training or just having a great day skiing around with your friends and enjoying the whole mountain and that whole playground that it has to offer. Because it is a roller coaster and you will fail, you will fall. You will have massive disappointment because the margins of success and defeat are so small with a straddle where the gate goes between your legs or you fall over, you've put your all into it, that you've got to bring it back to why you're doing it, because otherwise you won't be able to ride the roller coaster.
And how do you motivate smaller children, let's say like under 10?
You just make it fun. It's all fun. It can't all be about hitting gates. It's about skiing the whole mountain. It's about playing, having fun, being with your friends, all the games. We do levels for under 10-year-olds. So every day when we're trying to get them to do drills. So these are, you'd call them exercises for older, more professional athletes. But for the younger ones, they're called levels. And, you know, they all love computer games. So they want to be at the top level. They want to get to level 8, level 9. And you go through that process of level 1 to 2, and they're different drills that you're doing each time. And the last drill is always you have a snowball in your outside hand and you're transferring that snowball to your outside hand each turn. And if you have that snowball at the bottom, you get to throw it at your coach. And they love that. So they all really try and get through the levels. And it's just about the narrative you're using. It's not about, right, you've got to do this skill. You've got to do this exercise. I know it's boring for you, but you've got to do it. It's about telling them why they're going to do it and where they're going with it and what they get to do at the end.
That just makes it really fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes me want to do levels.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do some levels.
Shall we go on to is it mug number 3? I think we're on.
Mug number 3.
They're getting smaller.
Yeah, this one is small. And weirdly, the story behind this is that in the summer times, after I did New Zealand for a long time, I ended up getting onto like the professional circuit, and then I would be invited by national teams to go elsewhere to train in the summer. And one of the places we went to was Ushuaia, which is the most southern city in the world, in Argentina, where they drink mate.
Ooh, what's that?
Mate is a local drink in Argentina from herbs. Now, we had to specifically source where we got it from because tea actually can be a doping violation if it's got the wrong stuff in it. But this is a mate cup. And the reason I brought this along today was because Ushuaia is very dark. It was a very good training centre for skiing and racing, all north facing, very cold, very dark. And it's where I started really getting into coffee. Because my whole life I've been a tea drinker, very English, you know, anytime there's an issue or we're crying, we have a cup of tea. But I'd never understood coffee. I never enjoyed the taste of it. And then I went down to Ushuaia and I had this really big training block where I was tired and it was dark and I didn't know how to get myself hyped up. So I started drinking coffee. And this just reminds me of my coffee era. And unfortunately, my coffee era is going very, very strong now. It's definitely my vice. I drink far too much caffeine. I have a lot of energy in the day and people always say, oh, how do you do it? Well, 2 things. I go to bed at 9 every night. I'm useless in the evening. When I have to host an event and I have to go up on stage at 11 p.m, it is a big struggle for me because that is my dark sleeping time. Dark as in nighttime time.
Yeah.
Not dark as in unhappy. And the reason I'm able to get up and go is I love coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. I drink too much coffee. Actually, we struggled to get pregnant because of the amount of coffee that I drank.
Really?
So when we decided after we got married that we were going to try for a baby, for 19 months we couldn't do it. And it was really upsetting me because I'm an athlete and I want to control everything. And I'm like, right, well, we're doing it all at the right time. Everything's ticking every boxes, but it's not happening. And eventually I saw this acupuncturist. He was like, right, well, your body's in fight or flight mode. Your adrenal glands are crazy. Why is this? And I was like, no, I'm super chilled right now. And he's like, right, how much caffeine are you drinking? Anyway, I was drinking too much. So I couldn't go cold turkey, but I got less. And then I also tore my ACL and really had to chill out. And then we got pregnant. But a lot of it was caffeine. So that's what's affecting our fertility. And so this guy told me that. And it's because of Argentina and me started drinking coffee there. Oh. But it's my vice. It's what I do. I love it. I love an oat flat white. That's my thing. I try to have 1 oat flat white a day. I don't have 1 coffee. 1 oat flat white, and then the rest I'll have different versions of coffee throughout the day.
This is a good opportunity then to get into your tea and coffee habits.
Yeah.
So you like an oat flat white?
Yeah, and I put collagen in it in the morning.
Okay.
So we've got a milk frother, and people don't often do this. You can put things in there. So I put collagen powder in there, or if the boys want hot chocolate, you don't have to buy one of these really expensive hot chocolate makers. I just put the hot chocolate in there and it froths it up. But I have an oat flat white to start the day. Then I try and make it till 11. Or I'll have multiples before 9 and they all count as 1. That's my other trick to convince myself that I'm not having that much. And then I will have 1. I won't drink coffee after 3 p.m. So 2:45 I'll tend to have my 3rd, 4th, my last one.
Yeah.
And then I'll have herbal tea. Love herbal tea.
What are your go-to herbal teas?
Lemon and ginger, rooibos and sleep tea.
Do you have favourite brands?
No, I like mixing it up.
Mm-hmm.
I am packaging based, so I love spending time in the tea aisle. Coffee, I know what I have, love that, so that's what I have. But in the tea aisle, just, you know, the graphics, and also when I get to travel, like I'll go to an Italian supermarket and I'll be like, oh, the tea's here. And I had a lot of fennel tea when I was breastfeeding. That's a really good one for helping milk production.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yes, I went big time on the fennel. I ate it, I drank it all the time. Because I was losing weight too much with my second whilst I was breastfeeding, and it was affecting my breast milk supply. So then I really upped the fennel tea.
So many benefits of tea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not just pretty packaging.
No, you're so right though. It's so beautiful to look at.
Lovely.
And every country you go to, there's different brands.
Yeah,
and...
lovely. Yeah.
Did you bring a lot of tea back with you when you travel?
I take tea with me. And then, we tell Dougie, but in our storage, every winter we put our food for the next winter there, all the herbs and spices, and they'll always have loads of tea in there as well.
And I think that I've heard you tell a story that was, you were talking about
when you did your best, it was when everything was against you.
Yeah, the tea flask burst.
Yes.
So the story, Chimene, that run in Cortina. So what in Cortina, the cafe is right at the top of the lifts, but you then have to do a 30-metre hike up to the start. So you wait for your run in that cafe. So I was in that run. I had a late start number and I was in there. And you don't want to put your catsuit on before you race because it has tight fabrics and it doesn't let air in. So you want it to be fast. So you have it in a plastic bag with you. Now in my backpack, I had my catsuit sealed, ready to be super fast. And I had a flask of tea. But I don't know what happened, but I hadn't screwed the lid on. It is an issue I have. I'm not very good at screwing lids on. And my tea flask, which was peppermint tea that day, had opened up into my bag all over my catsuit. So my catsuit was totally wet. But I didn't have another option. Like my start was in about 20 minutes. So I put it on and I'm like, oh gosh, this feels horrible. Like putting anything on wet. And then I went outside and it was freezing outside. So the catsuit starts freezing as well. And I'm like walking up like a robot, doing my Peter Crouch impression up to the start. But I just had to race like that. But I think that gave me the freedom to lose all my pressure and expectation because I couldn't possibly ski well. I was freezing. I had this catsuit that all the white on it was green from my peppermint tea, that it alleviated me of all of the negativity and the pressure that I felt. So I skied really fast. And that's when Chemmy Alcott was born.
And you've talked a little bit about that as well. I think you frame it as an 80% I think you say for
Yes.
8 years you were going 80%. What was that like? And then you got to this 100% and just let it go.
So I think it took hindsight and it took me retiring to realise this, but I had the potential to win World Cups. Every 1 year I had a huge amount of pressure heaped on me by sponsors, by mentors like Sir Clive Woodward. But I really struggled to deliver. And for 8 years of my life where I had the ability to win, I couldn't. And I realised that after the run in Solden, when I won the second run, what had happened was that I was so scared of being 100%. Because if I went 100% of my capability and didn't win, I'd have to admit to myself and everyone who'd invested in me that I just wasn't good enough. So instead I found this very dangerous, vicious cycle of performance where I was choosing to sandbag. I was choosing to be at only 80% of myself. And I was keeping 20% in my back pocket to validate why I wasn't winning. And it was brutal, but I couldn't change it. I couldn't find that 100% in the race until I went to Solden. And then the second run in Solden, I'd had a really poor first run. So I just stopped caring and I got in that start at the second run. I'm like, this is it. Let's just go. Let's see what can happen. And I went as hard as I could go. And that's when I won the run. And that gave me the belief that 100% of me was good enough. And I should take that risk. And from then on, I actually started getting hurt because there's such a fine line between success and disaster in a sport like skiing. And I did start getting hurt, but I was proud of every time I crashed because I knew that I was going on my limit. Because for the 8 years where I was choosing to go 80%, I never crashed because I never pushed myself enough.
And you've broken, I might get this wrong, I think it's 49.
Yeah, ridiculous, yeah.
49 bones.
Yeah.
How did you keep coming back?
I think because I love it. I don't ski, and I've never skied because I thought I'd make money or I thought that I'd be famous. I ski because I absolutely love it. I still love it now. I mean, look at this. I'm surrounded by ski memorabilia in this house in southwest London. It's an amazing sport. And if I ever had a chance to keep going at that sport, I would do it. So I would come back from those injuries. And actually the injuries I'm proud of because they were every time I had an injury, it showed that I was confident enough to go 100%. So every scar I've got is a memory of, you know what, that day I did believe in myself enough to go all out.
I think that's so powerful in terms of advice for anybody in any walk of life, any path.
I do a lot of corporate speaking now, and I think my message is so prevalent because so many people live in their comfort zone and they're so scared to make mistakes and they're so scared to fail or take those risks and then not pay off that they're just like, right, okay, I just won't go there. I won't go to my limit because I know with my limit I could have ultimate success, but equally on the other side I could fail. And actually what we need to do business wise is create a culture where we salute people, we promote people to find their limit and learn from mistakes, because you never learn from winning, you only learn from mistakes. So I've got this motto, I never lose, either I win or I learn. And I think that is what we need to put into our communities and for our young people to go, right, I'm going to make mistakes. And as a parent, it's really important for me to talk about all the mistakes I've made in front of my kids, because they see me getting introduced as a 4-time Winter Olympian, all these amazing opportunities we get. But I'm like, no, I'm getting these because I failed. I'm getting these because I had the confidence to fall over, to get back up, to try again. And it's about reframing that narrative.
And do they kind of embrace themselves then,
Yes.
failing and falling over because of that?
Yeah. My oldest, who's 8, will charge and fail at loads. And I remember when I turned 40, we all learnt to skateboard together. I wanted to learn skateboard at 40, and I kept falling over. And I remember the first time that I got it, they ran over like, you did it, all those cuts, all those things on your legs that you've fallen over, you've now done it, and I'm so proud of you. And they're like, right, let's talk about resilience. So I think, it's really important to see that.
And with young people, maybe through your coaching or through your school visits, do you see that there's more and more that sense of trying and failing rather than just aiming to win?
No, I think it's something that we need to really work hard to do, especially for young girls. Young girls are so worried about trying, especially if they go to co-ed school or going through puberty and their boobs bouncing and sweating. I think we have such a rose-tinted image of sport and winning, and you forget about all the graft. And This Girl Count, the campaign was amazing, showing all cellulite jiggling and everything, just real life hurt and pain and sweat and blood that goes into magical moments, because young people just see those magical moments now, because that's what we post on social media. Whereas we've got to teach them about the hard graft, about learning to fail and flying through failing.
Do you think boys find it easier to embrace that than girls?
Yeah, I do.
Your experience?
I do. I think because girls are very nervous about being ambitious and vocally about being driven, because it makes them unique, it makes them different, and they don't want to be different. They just want to be distinctly average like all their friends. So I think actually we need to give them the voice to go out there and be more ambitious and learn that, okay, if I put this dream out there and it's a big dream, I might fail, but it doesn't matter in the end, because I'm striving to be the best version of myself. So, I'm not trying to be gender specific, but I have 2 boys and I don't see it in them. Whereas the young girls I coach, they just want to be one of many. I'm like, no, shine. I can see that you're ready to shine. But,
Yeah. Well, it sounds like with what you're doing, though, even if 1 or 2, it starts a chain reaction of
exactly. And we use sport for that purpose. Like skiing, you're going to fall over, whether you're learning or you're a pro. So we teach life skills through teaching them how to race. Because at the end, 0.05% of them might be a ski racer in the Olympics, but the rest will have huge personal growth from taking on a sport like skiing. And that's what we try and use the sport for.
It's amazing, the power of sport in terms of those transferable skills into your life, even if you don't become professional or elite athlete.
Massively.
Mug number 4?
Mug number 4. This is a quick one. But I put this on because this is actually me on this mug.
Is it?
So a friend of mine has a company called Powderhound, and I was an ambassador for a while. And we made this Olympic mug for the last Olympics, and it's got all the Olympic sports on it. But actually that is me skiing. And it's actually not a great photo of me that she's designed on there, because my legs are a bit wide apart and it's not ideal, but that's how I know it's me.
Is that a downhill?
That's a downhill. And so yes, this was just a mug that just reminds me about being Olympic sport, and there's a little ski racer on the inside. The tea and coffee also taste great out of these. I'm not an ambassador for them anymore, but I love that they're using snow sports and making them pretty into a mug. So this was just a Team GB kind of Olympic mug that we put out 4 years ago for the Olympics. And obviously we've got the Olympics coming up in not very long, the first European Winter Olympics for a while. It's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to be involved.
What are you most looking forward to?
Cortina, where the women's alpine racing is the most magical place ever to race. Like if you ask any athlete where their favourite place to race is, whether they've done well there or not, which is very different, because normally you always say the place where you've done fastest, everyone will say Cortina, because it's just beautiful. It's in the Dolomites. You're up the mountain inspecting and the sun's coming up and all the snow's pink, and it's just magical. It's scary, and there's the huge Tofana shoes where you're coming in at 40 miles an hour, 4 seconds later you're 80 miles an hour. But it's just an iconic, beautiful venue. I love Italy because of coffee and the people. I love the passion. I love the food. I'm just really, I'm really excited about it.
I think it will be absolutely amazing.
In our time zone as well.
In our time zone,
Yes.
yeah. I went in February maybe to via Cortina to Corvara, and you could see them doing lots of building.
Lots of building being done. I mean, the bobsleigh track that is in Cortina as well is definitely on the limit. They've not had a test event. When I was there for Ski Sunday this year, I interviewed the head of IOC and I said, listen, what's the plan with the bobsleigh track if it's not ready? He's like, oh, we have a backup plan. And I'm like, yeah, about that backup plan. I've heard that your backup plan for the Cortina bobsleigh track is in Lake Placid. Let's talk about that, because within 3 hours of here, there are 3 world-class sliding tracks, but you're going all the way over to Lake Placid. He's like, yeah, it's a great track over there. And I was like, right, in a world where we're trying to be sustainable, we're trying to keep everything together, why would you choose that? And actually, the good news is we don't have to have that conversation right now, because it will be ready. It will be ready. And the sliders have got a test event at the first meeting of the season. So, and we're very good. Our sliding team are very, very good right now. So it's exciting that I might be based there and be able to see that as well, because normally I'm always so invested in the alpine skiing, or in the studio. You do get to, I don't mind being in the studio actually at Manchester, because you get to be part of every sport, because you're watching everything except for the time zones when you're up all night watching the sport and then you're on telly all day, and after 2 weeks you need a lot more hair and makeup to look presentable. So I'm really excited to see it all unfold live.
Yeah, and do you know yet whether you'll be based in Manchester or
no? The conversations start happening now, but I'm hoping.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Even if you just go for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've been a part of some quite iconic commentary teams in the 2018 and 2022 Olympics.
Yeah.
You talked before, I think, about how you worked with Clare Balding.
Yeah.
And then how you became friends.
Yeah.
What was
She's
that
amazing.
like?
I mean, for someone as legendary as she is in sport, she is not intimidating at all. When you sit next to her and you're the expert, she brings out the best in you. And I think that's what makes her so good on television, so good at her job, because she knows what she's good at and she really helps you be your best. There's no ego there. There's like, right, okay, Chemmy, I know you know this. I believe in you. Let's go for it. And actually, you know, she didn't throw me under the bus once because she believed in me so much. She's like, right, you're not just going to talk about skiing. Let's go all sports. I was like, oh, because for as much as I look like I'm winging it on telly, I spend a lot of time preparing, even alpine skiing, which I know a lot about. Like I want to know everything before I go in. So then to be promoted to this kind of fountain of all knowledge, which I have none, was quite stressful. And I was very lucky that I fell on a lot of my friends all helped me with all the other sports I knew nothing about. But she's amazing. She's amazing. I love working with her. I love her energy. She's a great person. We work out together as well. Yeah. She's like, right, what are we doing today? And we were at that Olympics last one with Amy Fuller and Sarah Lindsay, who are other good friends. And Sarah's got this amazing business called Raw Fitness. So she's incredible at PTing. And we'd go for sessions together, and it was just a great vibe all together.
That sounds so fun. And I think I remember when I was watching it, you were having so much fun. I think you were doing lots of the demos.
Yeah. So the first Olympics I did, it became a bit different, the studio, and I decided to kind of bring each sport we were talking about to the studio. So we had cardboard boxes and I would make them, and then whatever the guests were, I would get, you know, I got a snowboarder in and we were doing 2-man luge and I was showing the positioning, and it just, yeah, it was a real hoot. It was really fun. And Claire enabled me to do that because she saw that side of me, and I think that was incredibly kind of her because I was very overexcited.
I think it was very entertaining.
Good.
Probably that was one of my first memories of looking at like a commentary team. That just looks so much fun, and you can tell these people really love what they're doing.
Yeah, no, that was great.
And I think sometimes commentary needs that.
It does. Well, you've got to have the passion, you know, you've got to have emotion in your voice. You can't just be professional. I think sometimes when people know too much about their sport, they're too in detail, they're too monotone because they take themselves seriously, whereas actually this is sport, okay? We've got to tell the stories through sport. We've got to tell the highs, the lows, the mistakes, the victories, what that feels like. So I think you're allowed to talk more emotionally.
Wow.
We've talked, haven't we?
I love listening to stories. It's time for the quick fire round.
Okay, amazing.
This
right.
is the final.
The final countdown.
Yeah, this is the final. Or we can do the ski
I love
Sunday.
that one. Oh yeah, no, I get too excited. Don't play that.
Okay, I'm going to start off with desert island people.
Yeah.
This can be anybody, dead or alive.
Right.
I've also decided, because everybody obviously selects their family, let's say that immediate family are already there.
Yeah, okay.
They're a given.
Okay.
And you can have 6 people. Sorry, I should have said that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's a very, very good one. Muhammad Ali. Slightly controversial, but I was obsessed with him growing up and I'd like to ask him a lot of questions. Lance Armstrong. I'd like to ask him questions. Madonna. I think she'd be fascinating. Mother Teresa. Bring a bit of calmness, just in case it got too passionate. Oh, this is very, very good. I mean, I don't want to invite too many people because you want to shine the light on the people that are there. Alberto Tomba from skiing, he'd be quite fun. Hear some of his stories when he was younger. And my mum, I know I'm not, I'd be great to bring her into that circle. She'd be completely inappropriate and controversial.
Gosh, you'd have some good times. You've got entertainment covered.
Yeah.
Sports races.
Yeah.
All sorts of care for if you injure yourself. Mother Teresa. Yeah. Can help.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good. Very random.
Great lineup.
Yeah,
great lineup.
Okay.
Second question. Dream pairings with a tea or coffee. So would you have a biscuit or a chocolate? Anything?
Oh, very, very good. Hobnob with tea. Yeah. Or a digestive, if I'm trying to be a bit healthier. I just recently read that it should be all about shortbread because it's the healthiest naughty option. But it goes too soggy, so no, it's got to have something chocolatey in it. With coffee, I'm enjoying Rocky Road right now because of my sons. Rocky Road. Yeah, I love that. I saw a biscotti Rocky Road and had a little try of that yesterday. Now that was amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
What a duo.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite coffee shop?
The Coffee Pot in Thames Ditton. And I'm not just saying this, but it is run by 2 of my closest friends. They just bought it. And it's been really enlightening for me because I always thought that I wanted to have a coffee shop when I retired. But it is such hard graft and they do so well there and their coffee is amazing. So yeah, highlight them.
Brilliant. If you'd been the Summer Olympics, what sport would you have done?
So tennis was my other sport and I still play it a lot now. When paddle gets into the Olympics, because paddle's my new thing, I'm playing every day this week. Lots of tournaments this week. I had a lesson this morning, which is why I had to quickly straighten my hair through the sweat. Just keeping it real. I'd like to play paddle in the Summer Olympics, but it's not in it yet, but it will be.
Oh, it definitely will be.
Yeah.
I feel like as rock climbing came in, paddle will definitely come in.
Yeah.
Best ski hot chocolate.
Oh, very, very good. Probably one with a little bit of alcohol in it, a Grand Marnier in it, or rum. I don't drink a lot of alcohol, actually, but it does add something quite special to a hot chocolate.
Good choice. Perfect Sunday. Now, maybe you could have a perfect mountain Sunday or a perfect whatever you want.
I'd like to get up before my kids. I mean, that's ridiculous. Not asleep in. Do a bit of mobility. I'm currently quite into jogging. I call it plodding because I'm not very good. But it'd be so fun to go for a little warm-up 5K. And then come home, go paddleboarding with the kids, and then find a really good trampoline and us all practice our front flip and back flips because we're learning that together right now. Big Sunday roast. Or on the egg. My husband's a great cook and we've got an egg outside. So maybe we've had like ribs stewing for 24 hours or something in there. It's falling off the bone. And then a movie together.
Nice.
We're currently getting through Star Wars and it's the first adult movies my children have watched, but they've got to a point where we've gone through the who like lovey bit now and they're getting quite violent, so we've had to I can't wait until we've finished Harry Potter books and we can watch Harry Potter together. We're on book 5 and we've said to the kids that we've got to read them all, then they can watch the films. So yes, that would be great.
Yeah, and you've got there's the new Harry Potter series that's just about to be made, I think.
Is there?
Yeah, they just announced the casting last week.
Oh my god, so that means I'm going to have to wait even longer to watch.
I think it'll be season by season.
Yeah,
so.
okay, season by season.
Yeah.
Winter-wise, just having a family ski together. There's loads of snow that's come overnight. We wake up, we have a massive breakfast, and then we get first lift, and we're just dropping drops and powder together, tree runs. Everyone's happy. My sons are falling over all the time because they love falling over.
You've taught them well.
Yeah, taught them well. Bribed them to fall over. Yeah, and then we go swimming after. Or we've got a hot tub on the balcony. I mean, we don't have a hot tub on the balcony, but this is my fantasy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, fantasy Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite book?
I'm really enjoying Harry Potter, but I think it's because I'm reading it with the kids again. So rereading it. I read all of the Harry Potter in St John's Wood in a hyperbaric chamber when I had a broken leg, because you're in this room trying to promote healing for a lot of hours every day. So I guess I was in a hard point in my life right then because I was trying to come back from injury. So rereading it with them, with the magic behind them is quite amazing. I also love The Pearl by John Steinbeck, but I don't tell too many people about that because when I did The Chase on telly, I told them that was my really good topic, and then I got it wrong in the show. Yeah, it was quite embarrassing.
The pressure though. On
The
those
pressure,
shows.
yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Do you have a favourite TV show?
We don't get to watch a lot of TV. I'm going to say Ski Sunday because it's my favourite and I work on it. And I can't believe that I'm working on my favourite TV show. And I've been watching it since I was 5 years old and it brought all my family together. I just think it's an amazing show. We're very lucky. We're the oldest sports show in the whole world. Match of the Day had a hiatus for 5 years. And I can't believe that it's in Britain and it's about snow sports and it's still doing well.
It's wonderful to watch. I love watching it.
Well, it's amazing to work on. The team are just ridiculous. Ed is amazing, but it's also the editors and the producers. It's just such a great vibe. And our cameraman, sorry, just forgot about him. Yeah.
And you're still doing all the, what do you call them? The
runs? The demos, the runs, the pieces. Yeah, they are really scary. Like having to do the POVs, point of views, where you're racing down the slope and holding a camera, looking down the lens is just petrifying. Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, I can't sleep for 3 days beforehand, but then I love it when I finish it.
Extra coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Final question. Favourite holiday destination?
Oh, that's very good. I like the adventure of going new places. So I think the world. I've got to say the world because I don't want to go back to the same place again and again and again because I think the world is so special and we have such a short amount of time here that it's about experience every culture that you can and keeping going back to new places, finding new places, new experiences, new challenges. You might think that you found paradise and we've had an incredible family holiday before, but it's just about more different things. And actually last year we redid our 10-year wedding anniversary and we redid our honeymoon with our children and we did safari in South Africa and it was absolutely magical. So that's probably my favourite that we've ever done, but it doesn't mean that I want to go and do it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because I've got those emotions and memories set to that and I want to see more.
What a lovely end.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster.
Yeah, exactly. The world's a big place.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
No
it's been so wonderful to chat through all your very...
It's such a great concept.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
No, it's
I
so
thought you called it A Mug's Life because I'm a mug. You know, it was like derogatory.
Oh, you're a mug.
As in, you're such a mug.
No. God, I hope people don't think that.
No, I'm sure not. It's just, me being silly.
You sort of pick out such interesting things.
Yeah.
Because what I hope is that nobody's ever asked to go through your mug cupboard.
No,
before.
exactly. That's a first. Well done. Yay to that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.